this is Wild One, and I have another unboxing. I've been on kind of a game buying binge lately. I bought, in the last, I don't know, month, I bought Star Wars Rebellion, Scythe, the Art Connoisseur Collector's Edition. I bought Mice and Mystics and all its expansions. I have another one I just picked up, and it's Terraforming Mars. This was a big hit at GenCon, as I recall, and let's open this up and see what we've got in here. This game is it's at place in the 2400s, I believe, where corporations are vying for, I guess, superiority over the terraforming of Mars. That's basically what's happening. The box title tells it all. We got some punch sheets. I figured we would. Got a lot of punch sheets here. Here's some more punch sheets. Now these are plants slash forests. Obviously, once you start building up enough oxygen, or I'm sorry, once you start building up enough of these forests, you start building up oxygen. And the other side, on the flip side, we've got some other. I think those are cities. Yeah, because they're like little biodomes. If you look at one of those, it basically looks like a little biodome there. So I think those are cities. And then over here, the blue ones are oceans. So you'll be able to get some water going on the planet. We've got not much of a huge instruction manual. It's actually kind of lightweight. 15 pages, not too big. We also have our board. So let me get this plastic out of the way, and we'll open this board up here. Not a very big board, pretty small. Not the entire planet of Mars, just one side of it. I'm trying to cut out the glare there a little bit. But yeah, so there's Mars. And then there's these sections that are kind of a light blue color. That's where you fill in your ocean spaces. And then the green areas are where you can fill in your plants, your trees, and whatnot. And then you can build cities. And then there's this core city, this big biodome city called, if I can get it up to the camera there, it's called Noctis City. And then we have, I think, yeah, so there's, in the upper left corner, you've got this another biodome built on the moon of Phobos. And there's a colony called Ganymede Colony, which I'm not sure if that really is meant to be Ganymede. I think it is, because there's a little tiny image of Jupiter in the background there, so that little tiny blip there is probably the moon Ganymede, and there's a colony there. So you play, it's 1 to 5 players. Yes, there's a solo version, and you each represent a corporation trying to terraform Mars and earn revenue from doing so. And as you terraform the planet, you begin to increase the temperature until it becomes hospitable. And the same thing with the oxygen level, which is this dial on the top side here. Once the oxygen level gets up to 14%, it doesn't go any higher. As you know, we have like, what is it, 19% oxygen on planet Earth, and that's more than enough for us to survive. And then there's projects here, so there's the different types of projects that you can do. Milestones to be achieved. And there's basically your equivalent of a victory point track, which is actually your mega dollars. I can't remember exactly what they're called. Mega credits, that's what they're called, mega credits, that the corporations earn. We have a whole bunch of cards. Lots and lots of little cubes. This is my only major criticism of the game, is that everybody gets a player mat, and there's a couple extra baggies. Kind of like with Scythe, where they gave you some extra Ziploc bags. They're doing the same thing here. I kind of like that. The insert's pretty generic, though. I mean, there's not really much of any division in here, so it's like there's a spot here for you to kind of snug the board and the instruction manual in. But you play as one of these corporations, and it's a flat, kind of a flimsy player mat. And if you were to put one of these cubes on here and have it sitting flat in front of you, and somebody were to come by, I'm sorry, I was holding that upside down. If somebody were to come by and accidentally just kind of nudge it a little bit, or if, in my case, I have a game table with a no-slip surface on it. So nudging the mat wouldn't cause anything. But if somebody were to like brush their hand over it, or the player, him or herself, would brush their hand or sleeve or whatever, they'd knock the cubes everywhere. So I ordered, there's another company, and I can't remember the name off the top of my head, that produced overlays. So they produced overlays that provide inserts for cubes. So they provide little recessed areas, and they're transparent, so they just lay over the top of it. And then they just provide these recessed areas for you to place your cubes, so they can't be knocked out of place. Scythe solved this problem with the player mats having if you look at my Scythe unboxing, you'll see that the player mats have recessed areas for their little cubes for upgrades, their little cylinders for the enlistment of recruits, and so on, for the structures that you can build. But like I said, it's a 5-player game. Again, all of these are upside down. So, 5-player game. I'm really excited to see what the solo version looks like. I'm going to go ahead and open these because there's not much else to the game. There's just lots and lots of cards. There are a ton of cards. That's just half right there. I would say that's over 100 cards right there. And then this one, same thing. There's probably over 100 cards in here as well. So we're talking like, 200, 250 cards probably. The manual probably says how many there are. But they all have, as I believe, the same backing on them, so they all kind of go together. And these cards are just full of things you can do, projects you can spend mega credits on, and other types of actions you can take. And it's not really so much of a deck building game as it is. It's just, you have a hand, and you use that hand to achieve certain goals that get you certain things. Like, for example, here's solar wind power. Here's an ice asteroid. In this case, you get to harvest the ice asteroid to produce 2 oceans. Quantum extractor, giant ice asteroid. Wow. I guess the giant ice asteroid is a real problem because you raise the temperature and you place 2 ocean tiles. Oh, and then at the same time you can take 6 plants away from another player. That's rude. But yeah, there's just tons and tons of cards. I'm really interested in diving into the rules of this game and playing through it. I've seen some playthroughs. I've seen some explanation of the rules, but okay, so here we go. So all these have the same backing too, but eventually you should get to some cards with different backings on them. Okay, so here are all of those cards with the same backing. As you can see, all have the same backing. So there's a ton of these. That's one gigantic deck. Look at that, huge deck. Oh, and there's one more. And then you have these cards with these backs on them. And these are the different corporations that you can play. Now, they recommend that for the first time you play, you should play as, I believe it's a generic corporation, and everybody's basically the same. Yeah, here we go. Beginner corporation is what this is. And then there's going to be 5 of these. So you can play as the beginner corporation for your first game. Once you get kind of a hang of how the game plays, then you can start selecting from these corporations. I believe you randomize these and then everybody draws 2 and then picks one and plays it, as opposed to, say, drafting. And then the remaining cards with these backs are, I believe, our quick reference cards. Yes, these are the quick reference cards to give you some. Actually, they give you 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's that one. Yeah, they give you 2 sets of quick reference cards. It's kind of nice. I've seen situations where, like, everything can fit on one card and they give one to every player. But here they just kind of give you 2 sets of the quick reference cards, so you can have one on one side of the board and one on the other side of the board, so the players don't have to keep passing them back and forth across the table. But that's it. That's Terraforming Mars. Really looking forward to trying this one out. I need to stop buying new games and start playing some of the ones that I've just recently purchased. Again, I'm not going to open this up. This is just all cubes, tons and tons of cubes. And the rules explain what all of them are. I will mention, like, I think this is like bronze and gold and titanium, and then these cubes are tracking resources for each corporation. That's kind of what these are. So there's like raw materials and whatnot. At any rate, that is the whole game in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed this unboxing, and please subscribe if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to receive notifications on any future videos that I upload to my channel. Also like and share if you enjoyed the video. And until next time, this is Wild One signing off.